Last night on MasterChef Australia.
It smells like I'm at the Cooking Olympics.
The international themed invention test saw Team Mexico serve up the best dish.
Rock on! We won!
While Team Great Britain's chicken pie failed to impress.
Didn't dodge the bullet this time.
Tonight, Daniel, Alvin and Fiona battle it out in the fight of their lives.
You're only as good as your last dish.
Together, they face a pressure test with a twist.
Today, you will not be given a recipe.
It'll challenge their skill and their food knowledge.
I'm sure there's people at home going, I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And for one of them, their MasterChef dream will end.
I think really each of them have serious flaws.
We need to make sure that we keep the right people in this competition.
Today is the elimination pressure test. I woke up very, very early. I did not sleep okay.
Waking up determined not to go home, but at the same time feeling a bit down as well.
We're in the pressure test because our team, which was Team UK, lost the invention test.
Just mushy peas going with this pie?
Yeah, mushy peas, yep.
Team Britain, you're the losing team today.
No, I'm not too nervous about today. I'm assuming there'll be a recipe, which I feel fairly confident I can follow a recipe. I mean, at the end of the day, 2 people are coming back, so I just have to make sure I'm one of those 2.
It sucks that we were a team and now we're versing against each other.
Indeed, yes.
It's difficult for me facing elimination today because I've had a good few weeks in this competition.
Alvin, that was a stunning, stunning dish.
To be doing this right now is quite a kick in the gut. In my real life, I work in a pharmaceutical company and I wasn't very happy there. I came to this competition because I wanted to get into the food industry. I ultimately want to own my own Asian tapas cafe, something that's not very glamorous, but everyone knows about.
When I had to take down my photos and pack up my bag, I realised how much I didn't want to go. If I don't win today, I will have to go home and reevaluate where I want to go with my teaching and what I actually want to do with the food industry. Chop that up nice and fine. Good work.
I'm looking at this competition as a real turning point. I was recently made redundant. What I hope to gain out of MasterChef is to move into the food industry, and I think initially to start working in kitchens, and then for that to happen for me, I really need to be here for longer.
I need to stay focused today. I need to keep my emotions in check, and I need to make sure that I don't flounder.
Alvin, Fiona, Daniel, welcome back to the MasterChef kitchen. We say it all the time in this competition, you're only as good as your last dish. The three of you, as a team yesterday, let yourselves down. Your dish wasn't good enough, and it put you right here, wearing those black aprons in the pressure test today. Alvin, what's on your mind?
It's strange. It feels like at this point, if I don't make it through, my whole world will end. And that's the truth, because you reach a point at a crossroad when you decide you're through doing what people want you to do, and you decide to take your path, and this is my path, and I'm going to charge through those doors until I get through to the industry. One of us is going home, and I'm putting my foot down. It is not going to be me.
Fiona, you've been here before. Are you strong enough second time round?
I think I'm stronger second time around. I'm with Alvin. I'm not ready to go, and you know, these people and you inspire me to learn more, and I don't want to go.
Daniel, have you come back in with a renewed energy?
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of sleep last night, but I'll be honest, I'm not happy with any of the dishes that I put up in front of you, which is personally really disappointing. You know, it's the one place you want to put up good dishes, and I haven't been happy with any of them.
Just when you think you know what you're in for, of course, the MasterChef kitchen turns everything that you knew upside down and on its head. This is going to be a tough challenge. And if you want to stay in this competition, you've got to cook with everything you have.
Usually, with a pressure test, you get to see and taste the dish, you're given the ingredients, you're given a recipe, and you're all given the same time limit. We're throwing those rules out the window. But today, you will not be given a recipe.
It is near impossible to replicate a recipe by looking and by tasting.
I think my face went white for a minute, and I just had to reboot and say, you can do this.
Let's find out what you have to cook today. The dish that you'll be recreating is Schnitzel with chips and coleslaw.
I'll admit that I've never cooked schnitzel. I never ordered schnitzel. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous at this stage.
Chips, schnitzel, coleslaw. It sounds so easy.
You need to work out what meat is in the schnitzel, what's in the coleslaw, and what type of potatoes we've used to make the chips. I think there's never been a tasting that's so important. You have to really galvanise all the flavours on your palate to hopefully reproduce what is there.
This is incredibly hard. I'm looking at those three, just really feeling very sorry for them, actually.
Guys, this pressure test is all about reproducing this dish as close as possible. That includes not only the flavour, but the presentation. Right, guys, ready to taste.
The future of my competition relies solely on my palate. So I carefully taste the chips. I taste the coleslaw, trying to work out what dressing it is. I carefully dissect the schnitzel, trying to work out what meat it is. I am pretty convinced that it's pork.
As I'm tasting, I'm pretty sure that it's veal. It's a very thin piece of schnitzel, and I'm thinking veal in my head.
When I taste the schnitzel, I'd sort of take the crumb off it. That's really to help me determine what sort of meat it is. I think it's veal.
Daniel tastes the dish, he strips the crust completely off, and I'm thinking I should have done that. Why didn't I do that?
Well, guys, this is how the challenge is going to work. You have 45 minutes to replicate that dish. That 45 minutes includes choosing and collecting all the ingredients that you need for that dish from the pantry. You can revisit the pantry as many times as you want, but remember, the more time spent in the pantry, the less time you will have to cook and replicate that dish. So you need to know where you're going, what to do first, what to grab, the order in which you're going to cook this thing, and nail it. Your 45 minutes starts now.
It's a mad dash. 3 of us just run to the pantry. There are 5 or 6 different types of meats, and I identify the schnitzel as pork, so I get a tray of pork.
As I'm looking at the meats there, I'm pretty confident that I've picked up veal, and I'm comfortable with my meat choice, but I'm not 100% sure.
There's chicken there, it's not chicken. One of them's got to be veal, but I'm sort of struggling to pick which one. I end up picking the meat, which looked quite vealish. I'm still a bit unsure as to what it is. I think it's veal.
Daniel is the first one out of the pantry, while Fiona and I are still scrambling around. My strategy is to get as many ingredients as I can, and once I have, I run back and I start the potatoes.
To make my breadcrumbs, I do a mixture of panko and normal breadcrumbs.
I think that if you were standing on the moon, you could see that the breadcrumbs were actually fresh and not out of a box.
Normally I would make my own, however, I can't actually see any fresh bread in the pantry.
I run back to the pantry and I pick a loaf of sourdough. We're in a MasterChef kitchen, so everything needs to be done from scratch.
The crumb on the schnitzel that we tasted, it looked fairly chunky. So I've got a white sourdough loaf, so I need to use a food processor to process it down into fresh breadcrumbs.
You've got just under half an hour to go. Guys, you'd never think that 45 minutes could go so quickly.
It's a schnitzel, but it needs to be gorgeous. Come on.
Come on, guys.
Let's go.
Let's go,
Alvin. Come on. Come on, Alvin.
To make the coleslaw, I roughly chop the cabbage and I peel the carrots and then slice it finely.
I think the standout performance of the day was when Dan was making his coleslaw. He just got his knife out and he just like shredded away. He was like a little ninja with a knife.
That's awesome.
My cabbage on the plate ends up just looking really rough, really amateur, and really something you'd find in the pub.
Alvin?
Hi.
tell us what you're up to.
I'm doing 3 things at once. So I've got the mix for the schnitzel ready.
Yep.
I'm making my coleslaw.
What meat did you pick?
I picked pork.
You confident it's pork?
Initially, I thought it was veal.
Yep.
Then I tasted it again. I'm pretty confident it's pork.
Yeah.
Okay. This looks interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's really rough, and I need to fix that, George.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave you to get stuck in.
Thanks, Gary.
That's interesting, isn't it,
That's
Gary?
very interesting. I'll be thinking about that.
Very, very interesting.
I'm starting to get worried, and at this point, I think I'm going home. I honestly think this is the end.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Go on, Dan.
Fiona, Alvin and Daniel have 45 minutes in which to recreate schnitzel and chips and coleslaw, but they don't have a recipe, they don't get told what ingredients are in the dish, and they don't get any help.
At 15 minutes to go, I'm feeling okay. I'm prepping my coleslaw and I'm getting ready to make my mayonnaise.
Fiona, use the guard. You're going to cut your hand.
It's the wrong shape.
Fiona, how you going? What are you up
not
to?
too bad. I just want to make my mayonnaise and then I'm going to crumb my veal and then get my potato chips in the deep fryer.
And using crummies or
No, I'm using a mixture.
panko crumbs?
I'm using a mixture.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not confident with fresh breadcrumbs?
Yeah, I suppose I am. I just went for them and I've mixed them in now and I think they'll still work.
Tell me, what cut of meat did you pick?
I picked veal
Why is that?
because that was what I was sure was in the...
Okay.
Is that veal?
I think so.
Is it? Daniel, you haven't got long to go, but tell me quickly, what meat did you pick here for the schnitzel?
Well, this could be potentially very embarrassing.
Why?
Well, because I figured it was either going to be veal or, what's that bloody thing called? Turkey.
Turkey? And what's that?
I have no idea.
Okay, all right. And what herbs have you popped in the crumbs?
I've only put parsley in. I wasn't sure if there was chive in there. I couldn't tell. I didn't want to put anything in.
Nothing else that you could taste in that crumb that you think would
I wasn't
be in
too sure.
Well, look, we'll leave you to it.
Thank you.
You haven't got long to go. Good luck.
Push on.
To prepare my meat, I start by bashing it with the meat mallet to get a nice, flat, even schnitzel.
You've got less than 10 minutes to go. Come on, guys.
Come on, Daniel. Come on.
Yep.
Come on, get cooking.
Just making sure those chips are nice and crunchy.
I'm never confident with what I'm plating up, but I have no choice.
To prepare my coleslaw, I have to make a mayonnaise, which I haven't made before.
Drizzle a bit of oil and whisk.
Drizzle. And
Whisk.
I choose a jar of mayonnaise because the coleslaw I tasted, in all honesty, the mayo didn't really taste like handmade mayonnaise.
My mayonnaise is a disaster.
Mayonnaise is tasting good.
This is the first time I've made mayonnaise. I've seen how it's done and it just didn't emulsify enough. It's not thick and I realised, oh my God.
George, I'm really surprised how much pressure this has put them under. I mean, it is the pressure test, but my goodness, 45 minutes to do a schnitzel, chips and a coleslaw, I thought was easy. But we've got just on 5 minutes to go, and I reckon they're all struggling. And honestly, I'm questioning whether they're going to get this stuff up on time.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, who would have thought? Humble old schnitzel. I'm sure there's people at home going, I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I cooked my schnitzel and they're ready to go. And I realized the one crucial thing about making schnitzel is to make sure you flatten your meat. And I didn't.
That's some serious schnitzel.
because it's thick, I am not sure whether I've cooked the meat properly. And there's nothing worse than serving uncooked meat to those three up there.
Taking the schnitzels out of the fry pan, they stayed in for a bit longer than I thought they'd take. So I'm hoping they're not overcooked. I think they'll be nice and crunchy, and they certainly look pretty good, so I'm quite happy with them.
Run!
You have 30 seconds to go.
I'm a little bit worried time's getting away from me. To go home on a schnitzel, I think would be pretty disappointing.
You have 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Time's up.
The others come downstairs to say goodbye. This is the real goodbyes.
You tell them how much you want this, okay?
It's funny. Everyone believes in me but myself.
I think you did a beautiful job, sweetheart. I'll see you back at the house, okay? I love you.
I'm sure I'm going to go home. I undercooked my meat. I chop so badly I don't deserve to be here. I have lost all hope.
Well, the cooking's finished, our 45 minutes is done, so now it's time for us to put our dishes up in front of the judges. I'm still in two minds about the meat, and I could look like a bit of an idiot doing this. Hopefully that won't happen.
Daniel, please tell me what dish you put in front of us.
It's a veal schnitzel with chips and coleslaw.
How did you go with the coleslaw?
Fine. I used just mayonnaise from a jar, which, I'll be honest, that's what I thought it was when I tasted it, and it was a deliberate decision. But sort of became apparent that the other two did make mayonnaise, which I probably would have had time for, but I'd made a decision to use it from the jar.
Daniel, when you went into the pantry, what made you choose the meat that you chose?
Straight up, I thought it was veal, and when I got into the pantry, I sort of started doubting myself. But I went for what I thought was a veal anyway.
Are you convinced that it was veal schnitzel you tasted? Yeah. And are you convinced that it was veal schnitzel you put in front of us now?
With my limited knowledge of veal, I 99% that it's veal, and I'm 99% that I've dished up veal.
Thank you, Daniel. We'll taste your dish now. You can leave.
Thanks, gents.
Thanks.
Guys, there's something that we really need to talk about here. We didn't use veal. It's pork. We made our schnitzels with pork, and the cut of meat that he collected was also pork. This is a major issue for someone that wants to become a chef.
And look, I think, this pressure test has been designed to test their palate and their food knowledge. And as far as I'm concerned, that fails on the palate test and it fails on the food knowledge test. George, please plate up. Daniel's dish. That schnitzel is certainly crunchy enough. If you look over here, there's a bit of crumb that's lecked off my plate when I've cut into it. He's well seasoned the chips. the absence of real mayonnaise in the coleslaw is a problem.
The meat is severely overcooked. It's like a bit of cardboard with crunchy breadcrumbs over the top. And even though the coleslaw's been shredded, it's shop-bought mayonnaise, and I can taste it. What I do like, though, is those nice, coarse, crispy crumbs on the outside. He's presented it well, but it's not a standout, and it's missing some critical elements from the dish that we cooked this morning.
I'm happy with all the elements. I know that there might be a few flaws, but generally I'm pretty pleased with it.
Fiona, when you tasted the dish this morning, what did you think you tasted?
I actually thought I tasted veal.
Okay.
Yep.
And your aim when you went into the pantry, what was it to get?
It was to get veal.
How would you feel if you went home based on not replicating what we put up?
I'd be pretty disappointed. Very disappointed.
Fiona?
Yeah.
You can leave now.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Pork veal. We know it's pork. Yeah, she should know it's pork.
It's ridiculous, honestly. I mean, it's quite obviously pork. It had a lot of fat, you know, on the meat itself. Veal is very, very lean and a very light pink meat. It's not difficult to identify the difference between pork and veal. It really isn't.
Shall we taste it? I'm a little bit disappointed that she used the bought crumbs. It's just not got the same, you know, sort of crunchiness and, you know, crackling in the mouth like Daniel's. What's exciting, bud, is she used some time in there, in those crumbs, and that time just pops and really brings out the flavour.
The meat's nice and moist inside. She hasn't overcooked it. The coleslaw, it's a bit of a letdown. What you need is that lovely creaminess of the mayonnaise, not too much, and then that crunch to follow. She's got the crunch, she hasn't got the creaminess, which is a bit of a letdown.
On the positive side, fluffy chips with a little bit of bite and resistance to them. I really like how well she's cut and how finely she's cut the coleslaw. And each of those scallops of veal stroke pork, nice and thin, delicately done, well done.
The future of my competition rests on this board. I could be sent home based on undercooked meat or a badly done coleslaw. It's coleslaw.
Alvin, tell us what the dish is.
It's pork schnitzel with coleslaw and chips.
How do you feel you've gone?
I'm happy I put the dish out in 45 minutes. Whether or not I replicated what I tasted, we'll have to wait and see.
So what did you do right?
I think I chose the right type of meat, protein.
When you looked at that little line of meats in the pantry, did you know the difference between them? You could tell the veal from the pork?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's good. Good to hear. Is this dish good enough to keep you in this competition?
I hope so. It's I'm so bloody emotional. It's just ridiculous. I did, however, cooked with my heart today. I cooked as though I'm cooking for the people I love. And this is what I serve them.
Alvin, that's all we can ask you to do, ever.
Thanks.
Thanks, Alvin.
Cheers.
Alvin was the only one so far that confidently said that's pork. It's a pork schnitzel. He knows the difference between the two. And let's face it, it's not hard.
In terms of following the brief, he's put 3 schnitzels on there, which is, you know, he paid attention to our presentation. And on top of that, okay, yep, look, they are bigger than ours, but they're all the same thickness and all the same size. So I'm not feeling like I'm ripped off.
Yeah. Look, I love the fact that there's some good colour on the chips and that coleslaw looks properly dressed with good mayonnaise.
All right, enough said about how it looks. Let's taste. George? Well, first up, I like my pork to be cooked, which is a bit of a problem. Now, yours is perfectly pink, George.
Beautiful.
And you like a little bit of pink across the pork.
I like a little bit of pink.
But mine is undercooked. And if I sent that out into the restaurant, that would come straight back. The coleslaw, it's a little coarse. He could have finessed that a little bit more. And I think it is the first time he's made mayonnaise, you can tell, and that's not the best coleslaw, I'll be honest.
He's done all the things we want to see. You know, he's cooked the chips properly. He's cooked them twice, which is a good thing to see. He's made mayonnaise, which is a good thing to see. He's used fresh bread, which is a good thing to see. He knows what the meat is, which is a good thing to see.
And you know what's also exciting is he's bowl chopped the breadcrumbs, so you've got an even coating as he's crumbed it, and you can tell it's an even coating because it just peels off the actual meat perfectly. So that means he's crumbed it correctly, which is fantastic.
By and large, 3 good representations of coleslaw, chips, and schnitzel that we put up. However, I think really each of them have 1 or 2 serious flaws.
Let's get them in, ask them some tough questions, find out how committed they really are. We need to make sure that we keep the right people in this competition.
The judges have tasted all our dishes. Now they're going to tell us who gets to stay and who gets to go home.
Well, that was a pig of a challenge. That is the toughest pressure test we've ever set any contestants. You should be proud of facing and coming through, having plated up dishes that were good representations of what you tasted earlier on today. However, each of your dishes had serious flaws that in any other pressure test would have sent you home. That was a pork schnitzel. Really, to go on in this competition, you have to be able to identify pork and veal. Alvin, you were the only one to correctly identify and be sure that what you tasted was pork and that what you cooked with was pork. You should be very happy and very proud about that, because that was a tricky, tricky moment. Now let's look at the other crucial element in that schnitzel. The breadcrumbs were made out of sourdough. Only one of you identified and included thyme in their crumb. Fiona, that was you, well done. It really lifted the crumb on your schnitzel. Daniel, tell me what you do in the outside world.
I was made redundant a few months ago. I was working for a wine wholesaler, just in an administration role in an office.
Give me a sense of where that final destination is. What's the food dream?
Since starting the competition, I'm getting to the stage now where I'm realising more and more that just starting off in a kitchen is going to be the best move for me, no matter what I want to do. And just because I haven't said to you that I dream about opening a little restaurant here or there or, you know, anything like that, I don't think that that should exclude me from going further in this competition.
Alvin, what's going through your mind?
It's devastating to think that this will end for me. In the past few weeks, this is my world. It's like the door's coming down and I don't know whether I have enough time to sort of run through the gap.
I mean, you're at the top. You're one of our top cooks and then you've just...
I think fear got to me. I look at some of the competitors, some of the other contestants. It's amazing what they do.
What about you?
Since yesterday, I just didn't think I was good enough.
Fiona, are you out of your depth in here?
Look, I do feel a little bit like the underdog. I've been in eliminations twice now.
How does that feel?
Well, like an underdog. But I think I'm a fighter, and I think the further and further I come, I think I've put up some good dishes. I hope you've seen that I'm trying to step it up and I'm learning.
How would you feel if you went home today?
I'd be sad because I think I have a lot more to give and a lot more to learn, and I think I will get better.
Someone's got to go home today. Is it going to be you?
In the toughest pressure test we've ever set, we weren't expecting perfect dishes. And you each made mistakes. Daniel, not identifying pork is a black mark.
Tell me quickly, what meat did you pick here for the schnitzel?
I have no idea.
And then there was the issue of the store-bought mayonnaise. On the positive, you're the only person to really nail the presentation. Alvin, those schnitzels were way too big, and there was unevenness in how you cooked them. Undercooking the pork is not acceptable in the MasterChef kitchen. But crucial for you was identifying that our schnitzel was pork and choosing and knowing that it was pork that you were cooking. Fiona, you really weren't sure about what you were tasting and what you're eating. And then we have the issue of the packaged breadcrumbs.
You're not confident with fresh breadcrumbs?
On the positive side, your schnitzels were beautifully beaten out. The cabbage and the coleslaw was finely chopped because you're the only person to identify the flavour of thyme and you used it. One of you will be going home, and for one of you, your dream of becoming Australia's next MasterChef will be over. Fiona, you're still in the competition. The dream continues.
Thank you. I'm very happy.
Daniel and Alvin, comes down to you two. Alvin, you're still in the competition. Daniel, I'm sorry, but you're out. Daniel, that's a really hard decision for me to deliver. I just think you need to take some time, spend some time in the kitchen, cooking, learning. and working out where you want to go. And I think you will get there.
Daniel, what's going through your mind?
Look, and I've had an average couple of days, so, you know, this just tops it off.
You're going to use this experience to, you know, catapult yourself?
I'm not going back to crappy office work.
Good on
It's
you.
not going to happen. So we'll do something with this.
Alvin.
Yeah.
That was a close call today.
Yeah.
We need to see the Alvin that we've seen before. We need you to show the confidence that you had.
Yeah.
You've got the skills to go all the way in this competition.
Yeah.
You've got the focus. Don't look at other people, just look ahead.
Daniel, it's time to leave the MasterChef kitchen.
Alrighty.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Good luck, Daniel.
Good luck.
What's your hand? See if you good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, boys. Good luck. Thanks, mate. I'm disappointed, obviously, that I'm leaving at this stage, but at the same time, I didn't expect for a second that I would make it this far. Now that I'm leaving the competition, I am really excited about the idea of actually cooking in a restaurant, not just at home. I don't have work at the moment, so I'm going to be looking for work in a kitchen, and I just want to get on with it now.
Waiting at the house today, there's just a sombre mood. We're worried about Alvin. Is he going to come home? It could be anyone's game at this point, and to see him leave would be an absolute shame.
I think this is one of the closest pressure tests that we've had in terms of the result.
For me, Dan seemed to be the most in control, plated up a great-looking dish. So I think he's going to be hard to beat.
If I had to, which is hard to say, it's a toss-up between Fiona and Alvin.
Coming out of that elevator, everyone cheered. Everyone clapped, so it's good to know that I'm liked.
I'm really relieved for Fee and Alvin. They've come back and they've fought through the elimination challenge, but I'm really sad for Dan. He did an amazing job today, and to see him go home on the back of that, it's really hard.
I've had an amazing time on MasterChef. I'm sad to have left the competition, but at the same time, it's nice to be back home. I'm going to take everything that I've learned during this time and I'm going to take it from here. I'm going to really pursue what I want to do. You know, no matter if I want to be a writer or a chef or a food stylist or anything like that, I think the basis for that is to be able to cook and to get, you know, a job in a kitchen that's going to be the start for me.
Cheers to Dan!
Tomorrow night on MasterChef Australia.
Welcome to a history-making Celebrity Chef Challenge.
Matthew, Aaron and Joanne put their skills and their teamwork to the test.
It's a 3 versus 3 cook-off.
Do the 3 amateurs have what it takes to outcook the 3 pros from Restaurant Aris at their own signature dish?
This is our reputation on the line.
And with immunity up for grabs, the stakes are high.
If you win, you will turn this competition on its head.
The battle lines are drawn in the fiercest competition yet.
There's no way I would attempt this at home.
It's undercooked.
We might as well walk home right now.